Look, sometimes it's hard to face the truth that rebuilding your life in your 40s, especially after a catastrophic event like divorce, is depressing and it can get you down. You can feel like you're making 4 steps forward and you get yanked back 12 steps backwards. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, whether you're a man, a woman, however you identify. One of the things I've learned in the last week is I have to get to rock bottom. I have been hanging by a thread thinking, okay, it's just going to get over the hump. It's just going to get over the hump. It's just going to get there. I just got to be patient. And now I've realized, no, I got to go all the way back to the beginning. I got to be an 18-year-old kid again. So I started reminding myself, at 18 years old, when I moved out of the house, when I was going to college, how did I survive on like 10 bucks a week, 15 bucks a week? How did I do laundry? How did I eat? How was I able to live life on basically 60 bucks a month? Well, I started to think about it. And one of those thoughts is I never went to the laundromat. I either once a month borrowed somebody's washer dryer, like a friend or a family member, or I washed my clothes in the sink. So let me show you what I'm talking about as I'm speaking. So what I used to do, I didn't used to use laundry soap. I used to use dish detergent. So I started thinking, what if I went back? What if I went back to the beginning? What if I said, screw dating, screw women, screw the whole thing. I don't care about passport broing or anything like that. What if I just went down to the bare minimum from basically February 25th, 2026 to, let's call it September 30th, after Labor Day, and see where I end up. Let's see if I could put together and save $25,000. Put it aside, put it away, and live off the minimum. That's including paying my child support, paying my spousal support, doing all that stuff. How do I put that money away? So one of the things that I've come to realize is I've been fasting. I've been living off one meal a day, one meal every other day. And I remember that's kind of how I did it. I used to go pick up beefy ravioli and corn and green beans. But back then, canned food was like 50 cents a can. Now it's like $1.25. So can I do it on 15 bucks a week? No, but there's a possibility I could do it on 25 bucks a week. I used to buy cheap bread, peanut butter, jelly. I used to have, I used to go to restaurants and say, hey, do you have, anything you cooked that nobody's going to eat that I can pay, $5 for? I used to do stuff like that all the time. And then I remember the John Cena's of the world and a lot of people that have rebuilt after a devastating event went back to the basics, went back to no car, small little living space, living out of a suitcase, and restarted from zero. So, actually, before I was even thinking about this, I just brought out my stuff, and instead of putting things in bank accounts, hide it other places, cash. So we'll see how it all goes. But that's pretty much what's going on in my life. How are you doing?